Hello, I'm the Troublemaker, and this is the Wargame Cup. Brought to you by Eugen Systems and Intel. We're going to see a match between NATO player Ribar and his pact opponent, German Strateg. Now, we have seen both these players in the past. Both players doing very well, have both made it to round 5. Dodged quite a few bullets in the brackets. Some players were not so fortunate. A lot of matches in which you saw a lot of very good players getting kicked out very early. But now both these players will be seeing each other. We can see that there is a little squad here for its German Strateg actually going to go, yes, to the east with a large number of anti-aircraft. He has lots of Zalos and a Bertino. This is a very odd combination of units. And he doesn't have any anti-air for this commander, so he's actually going to go for the money route of going for Echo and Charlie. All the while, the recon advantage right now going to its German Strateg, targeting down Biocobras, going to hit one of these gunship helicopters, and he might get a kill here. In fact, it looks like he will. The Mi-17 cannot fire back. It's trying to unload its precious cargo, and looks like this poor helicopter is pretty much for naught. It's got a fuel leak, meaning that it will just run out of fuel eventually, and it's slowly dying. Actually, whoa, a VPZU squad with their nice little image fire is enough to kill off one of Ribar's helicopters. So a very early lead, a first blood goes to its German Strateg. He has his own little VPZU squad over here with some transport helicopters, and he's being pushed off by these Wiesel Mk-20, very good anti-infantry vehicle, and a large number of infantry and anti-infantry. And so now we're seeing the game kind of get closer to being standardized. Both players are going for the same 2 high value points. Both players are going for the same middle. And it looks like this Fusilier squad will go down for relatively cheap from this VPZU, and it does. It does, in fact. No, it's rooted. Why isn't this dead? It doesn't make sense. A few infantry and an anti-aircraft placed in a nice strategic location, catching these Fusiliers off guard. Now the Fusiliers are defending themselves. His carrier is gone. We saw Mk-20 coming along the side, creating a flank from inside the woods. And the Fusiliers gotta get the cover, or they're just gonna get chewed up. Moto Strategy and anti-aircraft chewing down this Fusilier squad. And they're pretty much on the retreat right now. Routed. All the while we see the Wiesel Mk-20 not really able to fire. Needs to have a position to fire on. This is slow and painful, actually. Where are these Fusiliers at? Do you even see them on the map? Oh yes, here they are. In the ditches, burning and dead. Actually, they're apparently over here. Not in the ditches, and most definitely not dead. So still another VPZU squad here. And both players are kind of just jostling for some positions right now. One big part of this map is making sure to secure bridges, and the Wiesel Mk-20 is going to have a pretty significant advantage against these 4 ZSU cheap anti-aircraft units. He splits up his Wiesels just because one was getting high in morale. If one loses morale, they all lose morale simultaneously. It kind of sucks. We're seeing some generic splash here from the Bertinos. It's a good guess. There wasn't anything there, but generally speaking, it's always a good guess there. There's still 20 Motor Strelki here, of which the Wiesels can wipe out, and a very good push forward by good old Ribar. What he has in store for us next, questionable. It looks like, okay, here we go. It's the German Strateg moving the commander in. He's got to restock this Bertino. He's got to get some good shots in. He fired here because this is a jungle location, and generally speaking, as a rule, you put an infantry in here to protect that point. That way it's harder for your opponent to run across. Fusilier squad finally going down. Its German Strateg takes a 10-point lead. Still a very close game. Ribar has a multi-rocket launcher, and Schneb has a Bertino multi-rocket launcher. The difference between these two is pretty sizable. The Bertino has about the range of a tank, and that's not very good. It's a very short range. It's insanely high damage, though. So you're trading off the range advantage for damage advantage, and it's very, very precise because of that. So where was I? Yes, protecting bridges is pretty important on this map because these two bridges are open for Ribar to make some crazy moves. This bridge here is open for its German strategic. He can just kind of move in here. And he can actually get this chaparral right here very easily with a tank destroyer. Very, very easy. In fact, there's no tank destroyer options here for Ribar. This bridge is cut off here by its German strategic and cut off here by Ribar, but still not very covered. And if you can eliminate the bridge, if you can control bridges, you can control entry points. That means you can also control the ability for the enemy to attack. Speaking of which, these Fusilier squads are getting chewed up and spat out, and that is not good. And Ribar really knows this. He's going to bring some infantry in, try and secure this location. And if you can secure a location like this, like, it gives you a lot of opportunities to bring a lot of rockets in. If you place an anti-tank team like right here, or right here, anti-air teams, they will do insanely high damage, and they'll get to pick apart at the units in the middle. These rocket-based units, these anti-aircraft, these anti-tank, they do insanely high damage. And funny story, it looks like Ribar is actually going to go and grab another commander, and he's going to get another point. And it's a good time in the game. Neither player really has anything right now, and he's going to be able to cash that out eventually. The W.E.S.E Mk-20s both killed by this one transport helicopter. I can't believe transport helicopters is the new thing. They have so little ammunition. And looks like we see some infantry coming across. The French bears catch them off guard. Multiple Strelkies deployed. The VPZUs are coming into support. They of course do have these anti-tank rounds, and the W.E.S.E are both running away. Lots of anti-infantry vehicles here. These Saracens getting wiped out by the VPZU, however. And so now we're seeing a lot of infantry moving up. The French bear should be able to wipe out the Moto Strelkies. He's probably not going to be able to kill these VPZUs. Hard to say, but speak of the devil, I mean, they just got melted by those Fusiliers. That's insane. I don't want to say this is a luck-based game, but there's a little bit of RNG. If grenades hit, blah, blah, blah. It's just like most strategy games. If X number of events happen, stuff happens. It's just that kind of weird that in this game in particular, you can get misses. Misses generally don't happen in RTS games, but it does in this one. It's kind of designed around realism. It's not just a concept. And so here we go. Ribar's actually bringing some tank destroyers, has a W.E.S.E supporting. It'd be great if he brought an anti-aircraft vehicle as well. And we're seeing actually that its German strategic is going to go all the way across the map. We're going to go for India instead of going for Foxtrot, which would be a closer rally point. All the while, this is possibly some of the worst timing. Ribar is kind of setting up for an attack, and the second that he claims this could just signal, just like that. Ribar can just float in here and kill this. He does have enough forces here. It's German strategic rallying in more units, wanting to secure these wooded locations. All the while, we see some W.E.S.E Mk-20s going to reinforce the western flank, wanting to very much control these bridges. And here's like the very, very late infantry. Something that could have been exploited by its German strategic, but was not. It's these kind of opportunities that certain players make that make them really good and really bad. And actually, oh my god, its German strategic is actually going to get greedy and moves his command number to hotel. This immediately signals Ribar. He probably knows it's on the way. In the least, this is going to make him pull his command armor back. And this is going to set its German strategic a little bit behind on points, as he looks like he's going to forfeit this Saracen in order to get some good link shots. Is this a lynx? This is a lynx. Lynxes are good. Lynxes, of course, are anti-tank vehicles and don't do particularly well against infantry. And looks like its German strategy is just going to completely remove this command armor from here. No real interest in losing this. All the while, 4 groups of infantry are going to move down to hotel and see if they can do something about all this. What does it matter? Oh my god, commander randomly got sniped by rocket fire. Ribar getting very lucky there. Now has control of the center position on the map, which gives him an 8-point total. Gives him a 6-point lead right now. Very, very good. Fusiliers versus Moto Strelkies. I believe the Moto Strelkies will win this one. I made sure to say it after they won, just so I don't sound like an asshole when I'm wrong again. Transport helicopters. You know, that awesomely powerful unit with like 40 rounds of ammunition. Coming in to do a little bit of support fire, and actually, it's turned Stratic in a lot of early trouble here. He needs to make up 300 points, and he will probably have to wipe out one of the enemy's command armors in order to get back into this. It's not all over. We've seen many players come much further from behind. It's just so insurmountable, though. So, this position's pretty much worthless now. All the while, command armor are going to move in. Will he take Foxtrot, or will he go for Charlie? If he goes for Charlie, he's denying 5 points from his enemy. If he goes for Foxtrot, he gets himself 1. And this will really decide the pacing of the game. And he's back going for the Charlie base, so this means that we're going to see slightly slower game. Ribar is only really 1 point ahead right now, so it's not too much. And just all around fewer units, all around fewer battles. And he might get lucky and kill his command armor again. Ooh, big hit there with the rockets. Only got the Ural though, so not too shabby. Middle base completely knocked out. Oh my god, here comes a big battle. Shasa, Famas rush in and take the location. And so now with this flank secured, it gives an opportunity for Ribar to completely go across this field with tank destroyers and anti-air units and tanks and just completely rock this middle base. In fact, its German Stratic sees this coming already. Going to pull his commander armor back. Total fear. He can't lose 2 of these. Otherwise, these are your panic infantries. They're infantry you get when you're freaked out, that you think you're going to lose. We've all made them. Simple goal is to stay alive. And really, when you're in the position that its German Stratic is in right now, staying alive just doesn't cut it. And he's going to fire into these woods, looks like. Not getting a single attack connect. There's a lot of rockets here, though. But just doesn't look like anything's connecting right yet. Maybe a rocket somewhere can hit something like a Fusilier squad. That one just narrowly missed. Oh, we got a single stun. 1 point TPC Fuchs. Not entirely worth the resources spent on that, though. They actually will run out of ammo after 1 shot. So you have to constantly give it supply trucks. You almost need to get an FOB to support a Buratino. They're just that ridiculous. So we got about 18 minutes left in the game. We're seeing a very clearly good position here for Ribar. And its German Stratic will be now doing its German struggling. All the while, we have this location here for Ribar very quickly getting scared. Oh, he's actually going to go in for a command armor. This is actually a little crazy. He's going into enemy territory, stealing the enemy 3-point base. He now has 4 command armors on the map. He could even bring a command armor over here to Alpha. Very macro-heavy game here for Ribar, and he's just going to play standard. He realizes that he's got double the points, and he's just going to play standard, as if nothing happened. And all the while, the only thing that its German Stratic can do is just reinforce, which unfortunately just won't do very good. And coming up some more of those Strelkies, Vulcan actually going to be the thing to destroy this. Kind of weird, kind of scary. Motor Strelkies pushed back by some anti-aircraft units. What an odd game this is. This is a Zalo actually to come in. The Weasel MK20 starts firing on. If the Fusiliers can get into range of the Zalo's going to be a lot of trouble. And one vehicle goes down. He might have to rush forward. No, the Fusiliers start unloading. Here comes the first rocket from the Fusiliers. A side hit kills one Zalo off. He just needs a couple more rounds like that. He does have more Fusilier squads moving in to try and protect this odd location. And half health from one shot, kind of crazy. A second shot kills off a Zalo. And looks like its German Stratic is in fact going to try and retreat with this final tank. That actually gets destroyed by the Weasel MK20. And boom! Veterancy. You never see like a rank 4 Weasel. Usually, because of their insanely short range, they just die. Now, is Ribar paying attention to this recon helicopter? It has 14 ammunition. Ammunition is off. Its German Stratic doesn't really have it in vision range, but he is going to try and chase it down. That would be a fairly good steal. He really needs to make a lot of ground. He's 1,000 points behind. Unfortunately, he's still playing as if he wasn't. And whoa! Schneb moving in to snipe the commander. The commander are getting pulled. But where's it going to go? This is a recon helicopter. Trading a recon helicopter for a command armor? I would take that trade any day. And all the while, can the Schneb even get the job done? It is seemingly not going to fire. And here we go. Firing. Missed. Looks like he's pulling himself in and out of line of sight of the target. Purely from micro. And actually, it looks like the Schneb will go pretty cheaply. There's too many anti-aircraft vehicles. Transaxles hit. And baboosh. Wait, that's a little close. There we go. Baboosh. Explosions are fun. Said the man to the moon. Moto Strelkis. Oh, only one. You know, it really pains me, and I know a lot of people when they play don't watch, because I don't watch the time when I'm playing the game. It's very rare. Usually, like the first few minutes, I'll watch just so I can get timings down and understand what can happen when. But a lot of people stop watching the clock and they don't realize they only have 10 minutes left. This is really not enough time to do a lot. He's going to need to do some sort of all-in, and it's got to be everything all-in, and it's got to do well. And it's got to do well enough to kill off not one, not two, not three, not four. Well, okay, actually it's four. 4 command armors. So, and, I mean, truthfully, Ribar's been playing pretty good, and he's just turtling up, playing very, very standardized game. He's going to almost always be in a good position, and weird, looks like all the units of its German Strategic are going to come together. And is he going to turtle? Or I'm confused. You can't turtle when you're behind. That doesn't make sense. Is he going to attack in with all of them? But whoa, speaking of craziness, we have Ribar going in for a crazy push. He's in for blood. He's ready to finish this. He has had 4 bases for quite some time. He's had lots of money. And the units he goes with are r.u.s.e MK20s and infantries. He splits them all up immediately. No morale damage taken for this guy. He's moving in. I dropped my keyboard. Damn it. I was in the moment. No, I'm not. Oh, I'm still in the moment. Drops the shots for Smoss on top of the anti-aircraft units. Kills them. Ooh, 1 hit down. This one should go down very, very shortly. A VAB going to try and chase down the command armor. The command armor actually exposed to shots for Smoss. It goes down. By the way, that final blow was actually a win for Ribar. Ribar taking out a 2000 ELO rated player. Very scary. Himself, no scrub. Quite high himself. Very good match from both these players. I have one more match for the day. Hopefully there's some sort of annotation you can click on. If not, go to my channel, The Troublemaker. And there'll be all sorts of fun and games. And there's like 80 Wargame Cup matches up right now. So watch the ones you haven't. Especially like any ones that I have favorited, which I don't think are any of them. I'm blathering. Watch the next match. Thank you.